We have with us today Professor Richard Dawkins, who's known worldwide for his book on the God delusion, but he's also written extensively on genetics. We wrote to Richard to ask him whether he'd read one of the chapters of King James Bible, and he immediately responded very generously, saying yes. And the first question I put to him, therefore, is why, given his background, did he want to participate in this project, and what does the King James Bible mean to him and to the country?
You can't appreciate English literature unless you know something about the Greek gods. You can't appreciate Wagner unless you know something about the Norse gods. You can't appreciate English literature unless you are, to some extent at least, steeped in the King James Bible. There are phrases that come from it. People don't realize they come from it. Proverbial phrases, phrases that make echoes in people's minds. They haunt our minds because we are a Christian culture. We come from a Christian culture. And not to know the King James Bible is to be, in some small way, barbarian.
I then asked Richard to give us some of the examples of those phrases which are part of the English language today but might surprise people that are in the King James Bible.
And I made a list, I think it was about 2 pages, of phrases that come from the Bible that many people don't even realize. Pick out a few. East of Eden, am I my brother's keeper? The mark of Cain, a mess of pottage, a coat of many colours, amid the alien corn, that wonderful phrase, amid the alien corn. The fatted calf, stranger in a strange land, the half was not told me. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose. Many waters cannot quench love. Beat their swords into plowshares. It just goes on and on and on, weeping and gnashing of teeth, the Gadarene swine, new wine in old bottles. Shake off the dust of your feet. Seeds falling upon stony ground. These are phrases that people use all the time. And you can't get your ear in for English unless you know the literature from which this comes, the King James Bible. Yeah.
Any other advice to us as a trust trying to open windows onto the world rather than close them?
Well, I think it is important to make the case that the Bible is part of our heritage and it doesn't have to be tied to religion. I mean, it's of historic interest, it's of literary interest, and it's important that religion should not be allowed to hijack this cultural resource.